separate tragedies.
This is probably the most daunting homicide I've ever been a part of.
The Windsor Police Major Crimes Unit investigating 2 unrelated homicides. Plus, allegation of money mismanagement.
The students should be outraged that this money's not being used to improve their education.
A donor and former law grad taking the University of Windsor to court. And strengthening Canada's border.
Together with these measures, we will make sure that our country remains safe and our economy is protected.
The federal government's plan to hire 1,000 new CBSA officers.
CTV News with Stefanie Masotti.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us both on CTV Windsor and AM 800. We start with breaking news tonight and charges in another homicide investigation after police say a man was pushed down the stairs. Let's go right to CTV's Sanjay Myra, who has the details for us tonight. Sanjay.
Yeah, Stephanie, up until the middle of this week, Windsor had seen just one homicide in 2025, but that has since changed. This latest homicide has resulted in a man being charged with second-degree murder following an altercation at a home in West Windsor. Police were called to the 3100 block of Wyandotte Street West. That's near Huron Church Road. Just after 6:30 yesterday morning, officers say a 53-year-old man was pushed down a flight of stairs following a physical confrontation inside the home. The victim was taken to hospital where he later died from his injuries. Investigators identifying the suspect as 45-year-old Kevin Christopher Harris. He turned himself in later in the afternoon and is now facing a second-degree murder charge. Police say this marks the 3rd homicide reported in Windsor so far this year. The first was 53-year-old Sean Short in January, the second being 37-year-old David Paveo in August. Thursday marked the first time since he went missing 2 months ago that police said Paveo was killed.
Okay, and we will continue to monitor this as they make their way through at the courts. Definitely. Okay, Sanjay Myra with our top story tonight. Thank you for this, Sanjay. And speaking of the murder of David Paveo, charges were laid against 2 people Thursday, but police say their investigation is far from over. It's now expanding to Northern Ontario as officers search for a 3rd suspect believed to be connected to this case. CTV's Chris Campbell has the latest on the widening investigation tonight.
That's right, Stephanie. Investigators are calling this one of the most complex homicide cases they've ever handled. It's been more than 2 months since David Paveo went missing, and police now say they're following new leads more than 800 kilometers away.
The search for answers in the disappearance and death of David Paveo has now led Windsor Police and the OPP to a remote wooded area north of Kirkland Lake.
Major crime investigators are also seeking to locate a 3rd individual, only known to us as Colin. He's believed to be connected to this case. Colin is described as a male white, in his 20s, with a distinct flower tattoo on one of his hands, possibly his right hand.
Police say they aren't sure whether Colin is a suspect, but he's considered a person of interest in the case.
The little information we have about Colin is that he lives in Windsor. Whether he's originally from Windsor or not, we don't know. He frequents in and around the West End and downtown. It's a really vague description. Right now, we're not sure his full role in this offense.
Staff Sergeant Joe Fadul says the OPP search is part of a wider effort to locate evidence, including Paveo's remains. Since Paveo went missing, investigators have done multiple searches in Windsor and Essex County.
Whether the search reveals a body, weapons, whatever the case may be, we're not 100% sure. What OPP is doing is conducting a search for evidence for us right now.
2 people have already been charged. 54-year-old Shane Laddiser faces first-degree murder and indecent interference with a dead body charges. And 49-year-old Marie Christine Hanna is charged with accessory after the fact to murder and indecent interference with a dead body. Investigators believe Paveo died inside a home on Felix Avenue, now under intense forensic examination. Police confirm they've recovered a murder weapon, but won't say what it is.
A crime like this without a body becomes extremely complex. But based on the great work these investigators have done, Based on the evidence and information we have, the witnesses that have come forward, I am more than confident that these charges will withstand the scrutiny in court.
Fadul says the case is the most challenging of his career, and investigators are still working around the clock.
This is probably the most daunting homicide I've ever been a part of. To be 2 months in, to have investigators working almost around the clock every day, kind of speaks to the complexity of this homicide.
Inspector Jennifer Crosby praised the major crimes team for their persistence.
Their dedication, professionalism, and perseverance have been critical to driving this complex case forward. We hope that these charges bring some measure of peace to David Paveo's family and friends.
Police say Paveo came from a large family with relatives in Windsor's West End and across Essex County. Anyone with information about the case or the whereabouts of Colin is asked to contact the Windsor Police Major Crimes Unit or Crime Stoppers. And Stefanie, investigators say despite not recovering Paveo's remains, they're confident in the strength of their case.
Okay, Chris Campbell tonight. Thank you for this, Chris. In other news, a former graduate is taking the University of Windsor to court, not for money, but for financial accountability. As CTV's Michelle Molesky reports, James Johnson alleges his $500,000 endowment is being mismanaged to the detriment of future law students.
The students should be outraged that this money's not being used to improve their education.
James Johnson graduated from Windsor Law in 1987. After building a successful career in Toronto, he created the Advanced Business Law program in 1999.
I gave the university $500,000 to develop and enhance its corporate law program.
The money was used for 20 years to give Windsor Law students real-world experience, including placements at top law firms in Toronto and bringing in guest lecturers from the best corporate lawyers and judges in Canada.
It really provided the students with this kind of elite educational experience, which you could not really get in most other settings.
Former Dean Bruce Ellman says only the best students were selected for the program, and it offered students from all financial backgrounds the chance to access real-world learning. Plus,
it gets Windsor's name out there with major law firms, which is, in fact, where we placed most of our graduates.
4 years ago, Dean Reem Body took over the faculty. Johnson says he denied her request to use the endowment for bursaries.
It's easy to take all this money and turn it into a bursary. It's hard to use it to build something. That takes time and effort and energy and commitment.
That's when all communication stopped. Johnson says the university is refusing to provide a financial statement about the endowment funds and how the interest is being spent. So he's asking for a court-ordered audit and for Dean Body to be removed from the Advanced Business Law program.
I don't understand the lack of transparency when it comes to donors.
The University of Windsor declined to comment as the matter is before the court. A date for a hearing has yet to be set. Michelle Molesky, CTV News.
Meteorologist Gary Archibald has your first look at the weather from the top of the Bell Building tonight. Good evening, Gary.
Good evening, Stephanie. Good evening, folks. It's generally speaking quite calm out here, a bit breezy, but calm in the sense that temperatures and the overall tranquility of this fall season has certainly made a statement through this early evening. A light breeze is comfortable. Temperatures still in the mid to upper teens. It just feels pleasant and most agreeable outside. There are some disturbances, though, moving in from the west and northwest. It looks like the weekend's going to be a bit of a mixed bag. We are going to stay mild. We could be in the upper teens, low 20s for both Saturday and Sunday, but showers Saturday evening into Sunday morning, and Sunday looks like it's a wet affair throughout. Could even see some thunderstorm activity. I'll break down what you need to know as we look ahead towards next week and beyond. That's coming up. For now, I'll send it back inside to you at the desk.
Ontario NDP leader Mart Stiles joined 27 locked-out members at Titan Tool on the picket line today. Earlier this month, the members of Unifor Local 195 turned down the company's latest offer, which, according to the union, included 15 pages of concessions, including losses in benefits, pensions, overtime, and wages. On 3 occasions, the courts have stopped workers from blocking transport trucks, leaving and entering the employer's facility. Prime Minister Mark Carney unveiled a bold plan to strengthen Canada's borders today, warning that in a dangerous and divided world, Canadians must be prepared to protect ourselves. CTV's Bob Belichico is at the Ambassador Bridge with the impact we will see here in Windsor.
Well, Stephanie, today's announcement will see the federal government invest over $600 million over the next 5 years to hire 1,000 border service officers, including 45 here at the Ambassador Bridge. Now, the goal is to thwart those who threaten Canadians and the supply chain. The federal government says it's taking serious steps to strengthen border security.
Together with these measures, we will make sure that our country remains safe and our economy is protected.
Deputy Government House Leader Ariel Kaibaga toured the Ambassador Bridge Friday to get a closer look at efforts to crack down on illegal activity. Minister Kaibaga announcing a government investment of $617.7 million over 5 years to hire 1,000 officers, including an additional 45 at the Ambassador Bridge.
And those new officers that are coming are not going to be working here on the front lines at this border crossing.
Acting CBSA director at the Ambassador Bridge says instead, the officers will support enforcement teams focusing on postal, marine, and courier shipments where illegal firearms and contraband are often intercepted.
There's also funding that's going to be coming for technology too as well to allow us to enforce the goods that are coming through.
That upgraded technology includes a large-scale imaging unit to scan trucks faster and more efficiently. That new X-ray will allow officers to examine a truck in approximately 10 minutes compared to hours if it's done manually.
We may end up intercepting a firearm part. It's not the actual firearm itself, but individuals ship parts separately, get it across the border, and then assemble it, and that's a firearm that's on the streets.
Minister Kaibaga says operational analysts will be hired to track organized crime, human smuggling, and terrorism. The government also announced the first increase to CBSA recruit stipends in 20 years, from $125 to $525, and a new policy allowing frontline officers to retire after 25 years of service, regardless of age. Now, there's no timeline on when these border service officers will be hired, but officials here at the Ambassador Bridge have given the federal government a list of their wants and needs. Stephanie?
Okay, we appreciate this, Bob Belichico, tonight. Meanwhile, officials at the Gordie Howe International Bridge say construction is moving well towards opening as soon as early 2026. The exact opening date will depend on quality reviews and testing as officials try to identify as many potential issues as possible before the bridge opens to the public. On the Canadian side, landscaping is underway as crews work on finishing touches, and across the border, work continues on the Michigan interchange, and all 5 pedestrian bridges are nearing completion. The Ontario government is investing more than $32 million in water infrastructure for Lakeshore to help enable the construction of about 2,500 new homes. The money comes through the province's Housing Enabling Water Systems Fund, aimed at helping municipalities get housing projects shovel-ready. The County Road 22 sanitary sewer expansion is one of the projects set to benefit from this investment. Officials say the funding will support growth and help keep local construction workers on the job. It's all part of a broader plan to expand housing and infrastructure across Ontario. Meanwhile, the mayor of Essex is inviting the city of Windsor to discuss the state of social housing across Windsor and Essex County. Sherry Bondi says the system in place now is just not working and needs a complete overhaul. Only 35 people got off the Gear to Income wait list in 2024. She says the county has seen no new social housing stock in years and suggests the current arrangement with Windsor may no longer be effective and it may be time to part ways. Bondi hopes to have a productive discussion with Windsor in early 2026. Construction now on a new 8-classroom addition at St. Joseph Catholic High School is currently underway. Work that is essential according to current students.
The portables are really a lot during the winter months and during the rainy season. It's hard to just go outside in the cold, slippery like cement, and if it's pouring rain, you're all soaked and then you get to class. Sometimes it can be quite cold in the portables as well. The classrooms seem crowded and the hallways are very crowded as well.
Catholic School Board trustees recently approved a $2.9 million bid from Alliance General Contracting of Windsor to construct the addition, which will be located on the north side of the school.
The design that we did was for a full 16 classrooms, a 2-story addition, which will match with the existing building fully. Right now it's an 8 classroom, so it's 1 story, but we designed it for the future.
The company set to take over recycling in Windsor-Essex is urging residents to repurpose their current recycling bins. Starting January 1st, Circular Materials will take over Ontario's new single-stream recycling program, where all recyclables go into 1 bin. Circular Materials says only the 95-gallon blue carts from GFL Environmental work with the automated collection system, meaning old bins, including Herbie-Kirby containers, won't be collected. Residents are urging to repurpose old bins after December 31st. Herbie-Kirby, a local bin supplier for over 40 years, is pushing to have its containers accepted in the new program. Still ahead on Windsor's news leader, the RCMP fires back, denying claims it protected former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau from criminal charges. Blue Jays fans packed the stands in Seattle, some driving nearly 20 hours, and now their faith is being rewarded with a stunning playoff comeback. And Monday, an emotional journey. 5 years after losing their daughter, a Windsor family prepares to face her accused killer in court. That's Monday at 6 on CTV News. The RCMP is firmly denying allegations of political interference. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre accusing the force of protecting Justin Trudeau from criminal charges. CTV's Abigail Beeman reports.
Many of the scandals of the Trudeau era should have been involved jail time.
In an interview posted to YouTube, the Conservative leader ripped into his former House of Commons opponent for the 2019 SNC-Lavalin affair and Justin Trudeau's 2016 family vacation on the Aga Khan's private island, as well as how the RCMP handled the cases.
The RCMP covered it all up, and the leadership of the RCMP is frankly just despicable when it comes to enforcing laws against the Liberal government.
There's no interference. I don't take any orders from any political individual.
When the RCMP's top cop rejected cover-up claims,
I would invite Monsieur Poilievre to meet with us and to meet with the people who run this great organization.
Pierre Poilievre said he would accept the invitation and double down.
If the RCMP commissioner is now saying that he wants to open that investigation, we're prepared to hand over all the evidence of Mr. Trudeau's criminal code violations.
In this case, the opposition leader is going a bit too far.
This political strategist says there is room to challenge and critique, but to win new voters, Poilievre may want to adopt a more moderate approach to complex issues like the state of the RCMP.
Pierre Poilievre thinks people are fired up about Justin Trudeau. He and his caucus are fired up about Justin Trudeau, but I think the public has moved on.
And to recap from the prior government, the ethics commissioner did find Prime Minister Trudeau broke the rules in both cases, but the RCMP said there wasn't enough evidence for a criminal offense in the SNC case. And in the case of the near decade-old vacation, even though long pressed by the Conservatives, the RCMP said it couldn't productively pursue a criminal investigation. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Safety concerns about some popular protein powders. Consumer Reports tested dozens of products and found some do contain lead. Here's CTV's John Vanavelli-Rao.
Yeah.
At Toronto's Studio Fitness, where they help people achieve their strength-building dreams, personal trainer Clementine Nazin often recommends protein shakes, which she drinks twice a day.
Protein is honestly your best friend for any health or fitness goals.
She says they're great for muscle recovery, and at her gym, they ensure the protein powder they use in their drinks is healthy. Concerned about the new report raising questions about brands they don't use.
They should really tackle that issue because it becomes a really important safety hazard.
Consumer Reports tested 23 protein powders and shakes, and it says over 2/3 contained more lead in a single serving than what its experts considered safe for an entire day. In some cases, lead levels were 10 times higher, an issue they've looked at before.
It's concerning that these results are even worse than the last time we tested.
Experts at Consumer Reports went so far as to say consumers may want to avoid some of the products they named and moderate their intake of others. Experts say the concern is repeated consumption over time that could build up lead in the body and cause problems.
It could lead to mood disorders, cognitive decline, kidney disease, and even reproductive problems.
The report found plant-based protein powders had some of the most lead, which is found naturally in the environment, including in soil. In a statement, an industry group pushed back, calling the report alarmist, misleading, and unscientific, adding the levels of lead flagged by Consumer Reports are far below amounts present in many foods, including some fruits and vegetables. Still, some experts say consuming protein powder in moderation is key.
If you want to use them, Consumer Reports is recommending you scrutinize your protein shakes and consume them on occasion. John Valley-Rouse, CTV News, Toronto.
They are just 2 wins away from the biggest stage in baseball. Blue Jay fans are hoping the momentum keeps rolling tonight as the team looks to notch a 3rd straight road win in the ALCS. CTV's Andrew Johnson is in Seattle.
On a fall Pacific Northwest day that started gloomy and gray, Blue Jays fans in Seattle are feeling anything but.
It was great. It was great. Fantastic. You can't believe it.
Corey and Danielle Brandvold bought tickets to all 3 games in Seattle, then drove 18 hours from Weyburn, Saskatchewan, taking a leap of faith the team could turn things around.
Awesome. Packed house and everybody's friendly.
Seattle fans have been great.
It's an out-of-town playoff experience that also drew Aaron Wittstock to cross the border.
Down here is great. I might have been afraid to go down to New York. I think it's a little scarier down there, but Seattle's always been great. It's a great town, so happy to come down.
The team they love is putting together a remarkable comeback, arriving in Washington State down 2-0 and now in position to take the series lead. For these fans, seeing it happen in person is close to priceless.
What'd you pay for your seats?
Oh man, a couple $100 USD, which is like $500 Canadian.
Worth it?
Yeah, worth every penny.
There may be more Canadians in the crowd today because after the Jays' 2 straight wins here, ticket prices online are dropping. Some now as low as $200 Canadian, what many would consider a bargain this far into the postseason.
A season of destiny, according to these fans.
Is this a World Series team?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, bring on the Dodgers.
Yes, definitely. Either of these 2 teams. Whoever wins the series is going to take the World Series.
No matter what happens now, the ALCS will be decided back in Toronto. The chance for a do-over after the team stumbled to start the series at Rogers Centre. They could now write the ending fans are so desperately waiting for. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Seattle.
So here's our question of the day. Are you watching more playoff baseball because of the Jays? Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. Yesterday, we asked if you have a family physician. Out of more than 600 votes, 90% answered yes. The polls for the Ward 2 by-election in Windsor are now open. Advanced voting runs today and tomorrow at Campbell Baptist Church on Wyandotte Street West. Election day is Monday, October 27th. And residents in LaSalle have been able to vote for just over a week now by logging into the online voting system on any computer or wireless device. Voting closes Monday, October 20th at 8 p.m. Now, do you have a story idea that you want to share with us, or a comment or a question for any story that you see here? Send us a text at 10400. Canada's main stock index closed out the week, weighed down by losses in the basic materials sector. In Toronto, the TSX fell 359 points. In New York, the Dow gained 238, the Nasdaq added 117. The Canadian dollar up 0.07 today. On commodity markets, gold lost more than $91 an ounce, oil up 16 cents a barrel.
Let's take a look at our CTV News weather snapshot. Thanks, Rick, for this beautiful image. Just had, well, mild but, well, wet weather be in store for the weekend. And will it be much cooler next week? We'll find out. My forecast with the answers coming up next on CTV News Windsor.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
A breeze out there from earlier today. Gary joins me again for an extended look at the weather. And Gary, many people are paying attention to your forecast on both sides of the border. Tens of thousands of people on Sunday expected to do the Detroit Free Press Marathon. And I know the weather's not looking the best.
Thank you. I'd like to think people are listening at all times, but in particular when there's a big gathering as such, and the big marathon running in ideal circumstances, better times, obviously, and just a more agreeable, pleasant event for all concerned. And there'll be spectators out there. Temperatures are going to climb. Today was yet again another day, third day in a row we've been above seasonal by at least 2 degrees. The air quality is decent. We've been mostly cloudy with some peaks of sunshine and a breezy day at that too. More on that in just a moment. 17 degrees, mostly cloudy in Chatham-Kent, so too in Windsor. We're looking at cloudy conditions, a bit warmer at 19, so we're between 63 and 66 degrees Fahrenheit. We are cooler across northern, central, and even eastern Ontario, and certainly northwestern Ontario, still warm, relatively speaking. 17 in Thunder Bay. Dryden's about 16. Toronto is looking at only 11 degrees. Niagara Falls about 10, so you get an idea where the warmest air is in the province. By the way, we are going to cool down. I've been setting you up for it next week significantly. Big drops anticipated, but the good news is that we'll be able to take it in stride. I can guarantee that. And a couple of things to add to this point. A couple of problems with my remote here, but I can tell you that the winds are picking up tonight. We'll see close to about 40 kilometer-wise in terms of the gusts. And then we're looking at a bit of a calming period as we head towards Saturday night into Sunday. There's scattered showers about, and with this, we're looking at the possibility of significant rain building as the leading edge is followed by a secondary area of low pressure. So the rainfall is light to start Saturday through the afternoon, and then we're looking at Sunday. There's a couple of things that are involved. Some of the computer models even suggesting we could get into some convective activity, thunderstorm activity. But I think for the most part, tomorrow is fair. Increasing cloudiness through the night. Saturday afternoon, a high of 21. 21 on Sunday, but it's cloudy and rainy, especially in the morning. Monday, 16 and fair, and then showers Tuesday, Wednesday, 16 followed by 14. 13, then 12, Thursday into Friday. We are in and out of the cloudiness and cooler temperatures definitely by Monday. Teens and below. Maybe even single digits in some places. I'll break down what you need to know next week, of course. That's a look at your weather.
Lifetime, brought to you by Safeguard Medical Alert Systems.
Radon exposure is the #1 cause of lung cancer in non-smokers. The invisible, odorless, radioactive gas comes from the ground and can build up in homes. New Brunswick is Canada's first province to offer free radon testing kits for their homes. Sarah Plowman has the details.
Radon wasn't on her radar until Heather Hogan was diagnosed with lung cancer 13 years ago.
We've been living in this house and we've had high levels of radon.
She was treated, but recently cancer came back.
So right now, I'm just waiting to find out my next steps.
The patient-turned-advocate wants people to know radon is the leading cause of lung cancer in non-smokers. It forms naturally when radioactive metals break down in rocks, soil, and groundwater and seeps into homes undetected. Last year, a survey found 1 in 5 Canadian homes have levels at or above Health Canada's guidelines. In New Brunswick, it's 1 in 4.
It is a personal thing, but this affects a lot of people.
Her husband, Bill Hogan, is an MLA who proposed the province cover radon testing kits, a program that started this week at libraries. But within 24 hours, NB Lung heard many had run out.
We are looking for a rapid restock and maybe restocking at a higher level.
The concern is people could be living in homes with high levels of radon and have no idea.
It's so important to test your home for radon because every home that is in contact with the ground has some level of radon in it. The question is how much.
Once the Hogans learned they had high levels of radon, they installed this system to remove the gas. It costs more than $4,000, but they know not everyone can afford it.
The government cannot pay for every house to be mitigated. However, are there ways that that grants could be offered for part of that?
New Brunswick's Minister for Post-Secondary Training and Labor notes that 80% of those 2,000 testing kits are now gone, but more are being ordered, promising that anyone who wants one will get one. Sarah Plowman, CTV News, Fredericton.
Dust off your denim and shine up those diamonds. A fan favorite event is back, all in support of local Windsor, Essex charities. The Denim and Diamonds Gala is one of the Circle of Seven's biggest yearly fundraisers. This year marks the 30th anniversary of the charity. Dress up in your best denim for a fabulous evening out. The proceeds benefit local charities that do not get primary funding from the government. It takes place on Saturday, November 1st at the Hellenic Cultural Center on Walker Road.
On our website, circleof7.ca, tickets are, again this year, $125, and you get a lot for the money, believe me, from live music to great food, a lot of fun, silent auctions, live auctions. We have people that do their Christmas shopping on our auctions. In fact, I just ordered a couple of things for the auction table that are toys for kids.
No food, no shelter, and a dream 24 years in the making. Coming up on Windsor's News Leader, a Tecumseh man faces his fears on Survivor. The King and Pope Leo XIV have plans to pray together at the Sistine Chapel next week. It will be the first meeting between the King and the new U.S.-born Pope. It is seen as a historic step towards unity between the Church of England and the Catholic Church, and will be the first time since the Reformation that the heads of the two churches pray together. Officials say the service on October 23rd will focus on caring for God's creation. During the visit, the monarch will receive a new title and recognition at St. Paul outside the Walls Basilica. The visit was originally scheduled for April, but was postponed due to Pope Francis's illness. Windsor Light Music Theatre is getting a major audio upgrade thanks to a grant of almost $147,000 from the Ontario Trillium Foundation. The funding will go towards new microphones and sound equipment, improving audio quality for shows at the Chrysler Theatre and youth programming. The theatre plans to debut the upgraded systems during its upcoming production of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat this November. The Ontario Trillium Foundation is an agency of the Ontario government whose aim is to build healthy and vibrant communities across the province. Last year, OTF invested nearly $105 million into 732 community projects.
So we're so thankful for the Ontario Trillium Foundation that is a huge step for us, that we are, again, helping our performers, but more importantly, helping our audiences get a much better production at the end.
After spending more than 2 decades watching the reality show Survivor with his dad, Jeremiah Ng of Tecumseh got to live out his childhood dream as one of the castaways on Survivor 49. He ate earthworms and slept on a flooded beach, but for the 39-year-old, the experience was worth every moment.
My strategy with Annie is just to really feed into her ego. The more that I say yes to her, she's like getting more confidence, and like when people get confidence, you know, the better the blind side. I started watching Survivor with my dad when I was 14, and I've been watching Survivor for 24 years. And up until maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, Canadians could never be on the show. For a show to be on like 24 years, it's a family show. People connect to it like from like all ages. For 6 days, we kept losing the rewards and challenges. So I didn't have anything to eat besides coconut and earthworms. And so the biggest challenge was like not eating for 6 days. And that was my biggest fear going out on the show, is not eating. And then the heat, it was the second hottest season they've ever filmed Survivor. That gave you brain fog. And then also not sleeping. We didn't have a shelter. We slept on the beach. We actually slept on the beach and the tide came in the middle of the night. Our bodies were like submerged in the water. We were like soaking wet all night long. Crabs would like crawl on you all night long. So I definitely think it was the elements that was like the most challenging thing of Survivor. I'm the most unlikely person to ever go on Survivor. When I told my family that I was applying to be on Survivor, they laughed in my face. And I love comfort things. I hate the outdoors. I hate the sun. I hate the heat. If I'm able to kind of like go through the elements, I feel like anybody can go through it. If you have the desired dream to go on Survivor, apply and then figure out how you're going to last out there once you accept, you know, the spot on the show. Survivor, it was just one of those things that I've always wanted to be a castaway, and I'm so thankful that I had the opportunity.
5K a day is back on 93.9
Virgin Radio.
Listen to Hannah and Johnny in the morning for your chance to win $5,000
Every weekday.
5K a day.
Virgin Radio.
This is your CTV Windsor, our community calendar. You're invited to the Athena Scholarship Luncheon, Friday, November the 7th, at the St. Clair College Center for the Arts, featuring keynote speaker Danielle Campo-McLeod. See you next time on Our Community.
It's time to check in on what's happening now with Melanie Kentner. Now, Melanie, you have more for us tonight on that University of Windsor alumni who's actually taking the university now to court.
That's right, Stephanie. The concerns of James Johnson might hurt the university in the long term. Johnson is taking the university to civil court and asking for a forced audit from the Faculty of Law. His endowment is now worth $750,000, and the university isn't giving him any financial details about how the money is being spent. Johnson has also given the university $400,000 to renovate the law building on campus. But now, this whole situation with the advanced business law program has made him rethink his future charitable contributions.
I'm going to give a lot of money away in the future. You know, I'm 65 and starting to think about winding down. You know, the University of Windsor was near the top of my list, but they're not anymore. You know, I just don't trust them, right?
For more details on Johnson's civil lawsuit, go to Michelle's online coverage at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And Melanie, we have so many additional stories on our website, including one about a closure coming up, a road closure.
Yeah, that's right, Stephanie. It seems like construction is never ending this year. Eastbound EC Row will be closed from Lausanne Parkway to L'Esperance this weekend. It starts tonight at 8 p.m. and reopens at 6 p.m. on Sunday. The closure is for water main and sewer work. You can find more construction stories on our website. And in our social spotlight, quick and clever thinking helped save a kitten stuck in a storm drain in New York.
Midway through, you think?
Yeah, midway. Hi, kitty.
Rescuers couldn't fit in the pipe, so they used a remote-controlled car to help get the job done, sending the toy down the drain and guiding the kitten straight into the waiting arms of a rescuer on the other end. A plan that worked out perfectly, Stefanie.
Perfectly, exactly. Now, this is a perfect example of thinking outside of the box.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder if they used some like catnip or something in there.
Okay, so if people have videos at home they want to share with us, how do they do it?
Yep, they can email us at newsnow@bellmedia.ca or text it to 10400.
A forgotten photo, a childhood dream in the magic hands that turned it all into art. That incredible journey next.
The latest news to start your day.
Interviews, conversations with the top officials, the difference makers, and personalities in Windsor, Essex.
Only on Windsor, Essex #1 morning show.
It's Mornings with Mike and Meg on AM 800.
We're losing those leaves, Gary, day by day.
Yes, and this weekend might be one of the last weeks where we could see really beautiful fall color on those trees. They're starting to dry up a bit, and temperatures are warm for this time of the year. We're looking at 21 for Saturday, mostly fair weather, and then we're looking at some showers, still 21 for Sunday, a cloudy day. Monday, a bit of a break, but a huge fall off. Temperatures around 15, 16 degrees. And then we're looking at showers through the midweek, 15, followed by 13 Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday, 14, followed by 12 on Friday. Next week, Monday to Friday, will be in and out of cloud, but the average temperature will hover around 14 degrees, which will be below seasonal for a daytime high at that point of time on the calendar.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Gary. Sanjay, as you know, we're in constant communication with Windsor Police.
Yeah.
But this week, some serious investigations that are underway.
Yeah, Stephanie, as we all know, it's been a heavy week when it comes to recent news surrounding deaths in the Windsor area. Police investigating 2 more homicides, as we reported earlier. And tonight, people in Windsor's West End will be gathering for a candlelight vigil in honor of Kim Elliott. This was the beloved firefighter turned teacher who was killed after being struck by 2 vehicles while crossing the street. Tonight, friends and family will gather to remember him by candlelight. We'll take you there tonight at 11.
Okay, thank you for that. We leave our viewers talking tonight about a long forgotten memories of hardship and reignites a nearly lost dream. Now, that dream lives on in every room of his home. CTV's Adam Sawatsky has the story.
When he happened upon an online video of his hometown in Italy, Cosimo Dracitano couldn't have been more surprised.
I was shocked. I said, that's me.
A picture he recalls being taken when he was 4, but had never seen until now.
We were the poorest of the poor.
Where home was one room shared by 4 people with no electricity or running water.
It was not a happy time for me.
So Cosimo started escaping through art, painting this now faded ship on his wall that he dreamed of sailing away on, a talent his mom recognized.
She took my hands onto her hands and said, you have magic hands, you can do anything.
But no one could have imagined how magic until after Cosimo left Italy on this real boat, after he created a better life for his family in Canada, and after he retired from his career repairing generators.
15 years ago, I said, I want to paint again.
After decades of nothing, the self-taught artist started painting something every day.
This was the first painting I did, and after that I did more than 100.
Cosimo begins by spending countless hours studying the work of the masters, from Da Vinci to Van Gogh.
I'm fascinated by their works. I just love them.
So, driven by the challenge of reproducing them with exacting detail, Cosimo has achieved his artistic goal of being surrounded by their beauty.
Well, it's excitement. Nothing else I experience in life.
Cosimo is so prolific. His work hangs on every wall of every room in his house and featured on a few ceilings, too.
And I didn't want to part with them. I didn't want to sell them.
The humble painter also didn't want to tell anybody about them until his family and friends finally convinced him to start sharing them with the public. And now Cosimo is opening up his home to visitors, hoping to inspire others.
Keep on going. Don't give up. I had nothing, and look what I did.
As for Cosimo's most recent original painting, inspired by that picture of his younger self he found online,
I will say I love you.
And he would show him how his magic hands would one day make all his dreams come true. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News.
I would love to check out his house. It's gorgeous. I was just in Germany, and we were admiring all the beautiful paintings that were there, and this reminded me just of that.
Yeah, well, studying the masters, and some of those renditions are really beautiful. And of course, it helps when mothers and fathers do such great work, inspiring magic hands, and he has them.
Yeah, we had that story yesterday about crosswords, and now today about these paintings. Just goes to show that passion can really create something so beautiful.
Yeah, and I think another thing that our viewers can relate to is, you know, getting on that boat in Italy.
Definitely.
And coming here to start a new life. On behalf of our dedicated team here at CTV News Windsor, thank you for watching.
For updates throughout the evening, go to ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And we'll be back with your only local newscast at 11.
Good night.
Good night.